morning, Chuck here with Apple Veins. Hopefully you're watching our live view, our live feed of the exterior waterproofing. We are here in White Plains, Maryland, and this is our Raleigh office. Ed, the franchise owner, he's operating the Kubota, and he's got his crew out here. We're going to go ahead and knock this out here today. So what's been happening here is this is the crawl space, and you can see the block over here. This has been flooding, and you can see they actually put a little sump pump and a garden hose pump in here, and they have it encapsulated, and they did a nice job. It's all sealed and foamed. No water in here, but out here water has just been flooding up into this little entranceway. So we found some other problems here. I did a live help with Cecil, he's the owner, and we did a live help and we went over many things here. And then I asked Ed if he wanted to drive up here. Remember, this is about 4 hours from Raleigh, and he decided he'd come up and take a look. So let's go ahead and walk around and see the other problems. So the real big thing here was we want to excavate this wall, and we want to seal this wall. We're going to bring all of this over with a footer pipe, the French drain, into a sump basin. He has a sump basin, but it's not deep enough. This footer is down there quite deep. If you take a look, let's see. So this footer is down there about 3.5, almost 4 feet deep, quite deep. So that's why we've got the excavator out here, and we need to sink this sump basin down below that level. But the real big thing here is you can see the crack forming. This is a stress crack, and that's indicating that there's movement in this wall. Lots of water underneath of that footer, underneath of that slab. And you can see it here as well. This is common. You can see all the crack. You usually find this in the corner of most homes. So on this house, you can see they've got a real nice gutter system. They've got some gutter guards up there, but the downspouts just splash out. You can see them, all of them. They're all splashing out, and they lead away from the house, but it's not enough. We need to get those out and around out to the street. So the excavator does a really quick job. We've been here about maybe 15 minutes, and you can see how quick we've got through here. Get this thing as close as possible to your foundation, and you don't want to tip over. That's a big thing. Using the skid loader, we're able to pick up all that dirt. They're running that dirt all the way around and spreading it out. This is a nice piece of property, so it's easy. If you've got a place like this, you can take the dirt, putting it out there behind that shed, and they just spread it out. So we've got a great place to put the excess soil. We're going to bring this gravel all the way back to grade. So there's going to be a giant trench about 2 feet wide with gravel all the way back to the top. So it'll look very similar to what we see right now. Let's go look at that gravel. This is the proper stone for French drains, footer drains. This is the proper stone. This is number 67 crushed washed gravel, and this is the right stone. This big round rock stuff is not what you need to do an exterior wall. So we've got some of the materials over here. We're going to use this 18-inch culvert. This is a dual wall. You can see it's smooth on the inside, and it's got the ridges on the outside, actually quite heavy. We're going to use that as our sump basin because we're so deep. We've got the 6-inch, we've got some 4-inch, lots of parts. This roll of white pipe right here is solid PVC. Ed found a 100-foot roll of solid PVC that will be the discharge from the sump pump, and we'll be able to run the trencher, which is an attachment to the Kubota, and install this discharge in no time at all. So on that Kubota, you've got some attachments. We've got the trencher. This is perfect. While the excavator could dig a trench, for the downspouts, that trencher will knock this out in just 10 minutes. It'll trench all the way down through. Remember, it's solid pipe coming from the gutters, from the downspouts. We've collected the water on the roof. Now we want to send that out to the front. So even though this job's moving really fast, the thing that slows this down is really just the one excavator, which is doing great, but to have only one bucket to move this soil. But still, I mean, it's only been an hour, and you can see this wall is almost excavated. Still quite a bit to do down there. Excavator makes great work at things, but it's really still a lot of hand digging. You can see Sarah just kind of cleaning the area up, trying to keep that area clean. But we're going to walk back here and show you where they're dumping this soil and grading it out. They've got a really nice low spot to make this really easy to get rid of the soil. If you've got a property like this, you can see they've got a couple acres here, so it's quite easy to get rid of the soil. You've got low spots, you can fill it. But I think he's putting it back here behind this little garage. Let's go take a look. Remember that old saying, leaves of 3? A lot of people think this is poison ivy or poison oak, but it's not. It's just a vine. When you've got 5 leaves, you can see there's 5 leaves there. That is not poison ivy. Can you see the root system? I've showed you this many times down in Florida. Look at the size of these roots, and they're actually penetrating through the sections of mortar of the block. They're going through and into that crawl space. That's not so bad up here, but when they're down at that footer level, that's when you've got the problem. That water really penetrates down through there. Regardless, once we wash all this off and clean it, we're going to seal that all the way up to about up into here someplace with the liquid rubber, and that'll keep this watertight. So we're also going to tie in this entire front roof. It's coming over to this downspout. It'll go down inside the same trench that Ed's excavating right now and go around the stairwell to the sump basin. And again, that M98 will easily keep up with this flow without any problem at all. We're going to excavate right to the corner of this wall. So it'll be a straight drop down to that corner, and that's as far as we're going to go. We could keep on going, but everything's already graded this direction, and this is the problem area back here on this corner, these 2 walls of the back of the house. Okay, so now we just need to dig a little deeper right alongside that footer. And Robert's down there. That dirt is really hard. You can see him using the pick. And remember, this is in full sun, quite hot. Over here behind Sarah, where the actual problem is, take a look. I'll try to zoom in there a little bit so you can see it. Can you see the hole in the block? That's from a root. That penetrated right through. Notice where the cellar doors are. You can see there's 2 different levels of a footer. And actually this is not a footer. It's only maybe a 3-inch pour of concrete so that they can square up and hold the doors to the cellar. Very interesting little problem. We're going to trench all the way around, bring it over to the other side. This side's pretty much complete. We're almost ready to start washing that off. So now we're starting down the second wall, And it's the same thing. We've got to get down to that footer. Remember, that footer is down there about 4.5 feet. So we need to get all the way down and clean this area out completely. It is so important. If you're going to waterproof the exterior wall, you've got to be down at the footer level. Can you see how muddy this soil is becoming? You see that bucket, the mud that's sticking to it? As soon as he pulls the bucket out of here, let me show you why this is so muddy and how important this little thing is, and it's easy to correct. That soil is so saturated from this one little problem. Let me climb down in there and let me show you. This little problem is something the homeowner can easily correct. I mean, this is such an easy problem to fix, but the problem exists. Can you see the little tiny pipe coming out through the vent? This is the AC condensation drip line. And you can see it. Look at the soil. You see how muddy that is? The water is just dripping out of that soil. It is extremely saturated, all from the air conditioner condensation drip line. A lot of people ask about discharge of the crawlspace. This is the original core through the foundation wall when the builder built this home. That is a 4-inch hole, and it comes from inside the crawlspace. It is actually at the grade level, the ground level of the dirt inside the crawlspace. I've showed you this many times, and the problem with this core is that it's actually at the grade, it's actually above the dirt. So water in the crawlspace has to flood up and then try to come out. And you can see it's just full of mud. It goes nowhere. It just went out into the dirt. So when that thing floods, when the crawlspace floods, water has no place to go at all. So we've got the wall cleaned off, and we're going ahead and applying our liquid rubber. This is Blackjack number 57, and what it is, it's actually a damp proofing compound, but it works so well to seal up the block and brick, for that matter, and the mortar between. You can see we've got it all the way coming around. We'll seal up this entire area, including the cellar door. We still need to clean that off. And this wall they're still working on, but the same thing. Sump basin's installed. We'll cut that down to grade when we're finished, and the pump will be inside there. Footer tiles will tie into the hole. You see the hole down there? Everything's looking good.
We gotta be quiet.
Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.